thing, but you're presenting the player with a different way of like learning about the actual game itself without giving them all the stuff right there. Like the one thing I guess I make a point of these waypoints is that I can't stand them because they not only tell you what to do, they give you like a kind of like a meter of like how far you are away from it. I hate when those things happen because it's like you're now my attention is all about that and not about anything else. Like that's all
Mm,
I see, and it goes straight through the walls, so you can see it through when you're not supposed to. So it's like
mm,
those little things take you out of it. In this game, if you had stuff like that, they could have easily done that.
hmm.
I think it would have broke what they're doing with this, and they didn't.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. Like, I'm glad. At the
Yeah.
same time, I like to know where I'm gonna go when you're inside of a house. So
Mhm.
eventually you'll find your way.
Right.
Or I mean, I like it at least some kind of
Okay. So
indication of
like,
where to go. But I
so
agree
like,
with you. Yeah, go.
so at this point, if she were to turn, let's have a pause right here.
Hmm.
So if she were to turn and you were to see down this hallway, if you saw a little marker that said "open door" or "there's a noise" or something like that, if they gave you a marker, you don't think that that kind of breaks the immersion?
No, no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying in this scenario it's okay, but like if it was like more open world and you're trying to figure out where
Okay.
to go,
Okay.
cool. But here
Right.
I'm saying this works because eventually you're going to find your way. Because
Exactly.
it's you're in a house, you know, like there's only so many places you can check out where eventually you're
Right.
going to go to where they want you to.
Right.
But like
Right.
I was referring to maybe a bigger game or like an open world game, like
Okay.
some indications would help out. What is
Okay.
this? Admin
So if
spikes at area hospitals.
yeah, if you read all this, look at the very bottom. Police crazed woman killed husband, three others.
Oh, is that in the small print? Or where?
That's in the bottom. See, look where it says police. Crazed woman killed husband, comma, three
Oh, there we
others.
go. There was like a little menu popped up. I had to close it out, but I can see it now.
Yeah. So if you can actually read that whole segment, that little piece, that little article piece in it.
Hmm. That's
So they don't know what's happening. So like some of the like it says right there, the FDA expands list contaminant crops. So there's something going on. Where it came from, you don't know. Maybe it
mhm.
was some sort of bacteria that was on the actual food that got sent out to everybody. Who knows where it came from?
Do you
That's
think?
the only,
Do,
that's the only thing they kind of allude to.
do you think it would have been cooler if she would have reacted, like you know, she picked up this newspaper and we're looking at it. Like, do you think if
Uh-huh.
she would have said something like, "Oh my
No,
god," like,
no. I think I
"Are you
think I
like it
think it's
like
perfect.
this?"
I think it's perfect because she doesn't. I don't think she understands what this means.
Mm,
Like when you read so much bad news all the time,
hmm.
it's like when you read it, you're just kind of like, oh, you listen to it and you're like, God, that's so terrible. But you're so desensitized by all of this,
Hmm.
so much violence, that it's like you see stuff like this and you're just like, oh, well, what's different than yesterday's news? Yeah.
A little bit.
And,
Oh, good. Were you gonna say
okay.
something? You had another point
No,
on
no,
this?
no. But that's actually the hospital. Remember that part where they pause and they see
Oh
that
yeah,
hospital? Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
it. That's the scene.
Nice.
So I'm gonna skip through this part here, and I'm gonna go straight down to when she walks through the actual that room, and kind of just want to like just go a little bit by scene on like how it all fits in, like how it just works.
Hmm.
Where it first introduces to the danger that they're going to be introduced to. Other times when replaying this game over again, I
Hmm.
stayed next to the window and looked out, and you can see that guy run up to the window.
That's awesome. Did it
Yeah.
freak you out?
Yeah, it scared me. Yeah.
So that's his neighbor, right? Like he recognized
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. See, just that part alone, the way that he just goes straight through that window is just it's so incredible, man. Like, I would imagine that they really motion captioned this character to go through something
through
to
a
get
real
that.
window.
Not I mean, maybe not a real window, but like something
Yeah,
that presented some sort of weight to it,
yeah,
that when it pushed through, they would go through it,
mhm,
and then it had some sort of resistance, because the way that he falls immediately down to the ground. Like, he doesn't, like, jump through the window and, like,
mhm.
doesn't feel like there's any weight to it. Like, he
Yeah,
falls down to
the
it.
physics in this game is really good, is really well done. Like, they
Yeah,
did a good job with it.
yeah. So wild. But right here, look at see, but that look on her face when she says that, and just how Tommy is just right there, or not Tommy, but how Joel is like trying to console his daughter, and he's trying to keep his shit together.
Yeah,
Like, he's trying to keep it together, and he knows that this could be all lost.
right.
And his daughter doesn't know; she's too young.
Mhm. You could hear it in his voice, like, it's really convincing.
Yeah. See, but that right there, see how, like, the subtle little light that just comes through from the bay window when Tommy pulls up.
Mhm.
Look at how this look. I'll pull it back a little, but look at how when his front headlights come up and pierce through the window. Look how it looks.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
It just reflects right through it, and it's just like, hey, it's giving you a little cue of like what's happening.
The remastered version. So this looks
Yeah,
better than the original one on the PS3, right?
yeah. I'd imagine that they still had those things in there.
Like,
I'm gonna
it looked good. Like, I'm sure it still hold up. It holds up to this day, but like this looks even
exactly.
nicer than the PS3
Yeah,
version.
absolutely. Let's see. Where's that scene where he passes through that family? Oh, right here.
So would you
You gotta
stop?
wonder.
You asked me if I would pick them up. Would you pick them up, or would you just keep?
No,
You
no,
wouldn't.
no.
What if they had a
If
little
if
girl or little kids or something?
uh
They had
if
what if it
okay,
was a woman holding a baby?
so if am I in the situation too where I have my daughter in the back?
Yeah,
If I saw what I just saw and something that was uncontrollable,
yeah. You wouldn't
I
stop.
if if they had a baby, yes. If they had a newborn and they're
Okay.
holding it, yes, I would.
Okay. Good.
But what I would do is I would get out, I'd have my gun, and I'd get out and I'd frisk the people. I'd be like, "If you want in the car, I wanna make sure you have no weapons."
Hmm.
Because I don't know what's happening, because in this situation, they could easily try to overpower me, and that might even not even be their baby. So, like, I'm already skeptical, but I'm gonna protect myself, especially if my daughter's there,
That,
because
that's fair.
my daughter's not gonna sit in the front seat with me.
Yeah.
She's gonna sit behind with these other people, or I'd put my daughter in the front and I'd sit in the back along with them and just talk to them, and I would make sure that they didn't have any weapons. I would do that. Like, I would not be like, "Oh, come on in and just jump in."
Hmm.
No, I would make a point to be like, "Okay, I just want to make sure you have no weapons. If you don't want to, that's fine. You can keep going. Like, you don't have to get in the car, but this is the rule that we have right now. You either do it or you don't."
That makes sense because you don't know if
Right.
what if they try to rob you.
Exactly.
Even if they have a kid
Exactly.
or a baby, what if they're
Exactly.
bad people?
And exactly, and you have a valuable commodity right now. That this vehicle is valuable
Yeah.
because right now that doesn't seem to, like, whatever happened to these two people. I mean, you'd imagine that they probably had died at this point afterwards. But what if they survived? Their story. That would be interesting to see what happened with them, because they're on the street. They can be. They're kind of away a little bit of a ways from everything. So maybe they kind of stay away from like the major city or something like that. Maybe they do survive. Who knows?
And our listeners'
Mhm.
thoughts, like, would you guys pick up people or would you just keep going? Like, let us know in the comments section.
Yeah,
But I'd be very interested in reading what you guys' thoughts
yeah,
are. So just let us know.
yeah.
Would you stop pick up people or just keep going? Let us know.
Well, they do have a little kid. They
Oh,
do
there
have a
we go.
little kid.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's one thing. If you have a little kid, I understand, but no.
He's unarmed. He doesn't have
If you had a
anything.
I know. If you had a baby, then yes, I would stop. But if you don't, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Fair
do
enough.
exactly what Joel says and says. Just keep driving.
Dang, that's heartless.
I mean, what are you gonna do, man? See, and then there's that hospital that she was reading about. And if you never would have picked up that newspaper, you wouldn't have known.
Right.
But that hospital right there is exactly what they were talking
That's
about.
a cool connection. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. There would be, like everyone would be trying to do the same thing.
Hmm.
God, that's so scary. And then that one just jumps in the car. Like if I'm gonna pause it right there, but just that idea alone, imagine you're in the car and you see that. You see someone jump into the car and start attacking them for no reason, like a wild animal.
Like right where you stopped it, I would have
Yeah.
put it in reverse.
Well, look, that's exactly what he does. Watch, but watch what happens. That one sees him, backs up and watch.
Well, he
Right up
was in
against the
shock
window.
a little. Excuse me. He was in shock. Joel had to tell him,
Yeah.
like back it up, dude.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's doing the same thing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna fast forward to this part. But just this right here, I'm gonna show it to where right when Tommy hits that guy over the head with that brick, and I'm gonna pause on that part where you see his face, Joel's expression.
Okay.
You look at it like I don't know what's happening. Like imagine it's that shock that you have that you killed somebody right in front of me. Right here, watch. Look at his face.
Dang. Yeah, he's in
Like
shock, man.
just that look of like what is going on. Like this person just attacked me and I'm barely kind of like I'm trying to understand. Like you're trying to comprehend all of this happening and look at his face right there. I mean, you can see exactly what he's going through right there at that point. And that's just that caption of that motion caption that they got, that actor,
Hmm.
they had to do these scenes, man. They had to make it seem like it was real.
You know what I like about this as well? Like the whole scene, they really
Mhm.
complement each other because in some instances, like Tommy was in shock, and Joel had to tell him, like, okay, back it up. And then in this
Right.
case, like Joel's in shock, and Tommy had to do something.
Yeah.
So if it was just
And
one or the other in the beginning, they might not have survived. But like
probably
they're
not.
like helping each other. Like that's pretty cool. I like that.
But even how did Tommy actually get away from? He said that he can outrun the infected when he's holding the door before Joel and Sarah they go out the back door.
Hmm.
How did he get out? Did he push the door in? Did he go through a window? Did he go through the same way you went? Like, did he hold the door long enough? Like that's right now you don't know that they're brothers. I don't think they've made a point to say that
Hmm.
they're like maybe just friends. But you don't see they never made that connection of like this is your brother. But you can see that immediately how they look out for each other. Like Tommy, yeah,
We don't know they're
like
brothers yet, but
like Tommy was calling him constantly to tell him like what's going on, answer your phone.
hmm.
And then he finally comes to the house and he's like, "Do you know what's going on? Like I've been calling you."
Hmm.
Like his first reaction is or his first instinct is find my brother, find my niece
Yeah.
and get them out of here. We need to get out of here.
Hmm.
Like I'm not thinking of myself. Like whatever Tommy had to do when he realized what's happening and try to make phone calls and try to get his brother
Hmm.
on the phone, what was happening for him? Was he getting out of his home? What was happening? You don't know.
Hmm.
You don't know.
Keep it going. Let's see what else.
Okay. So this whole part when you're running through, I just
That's funny that you turned around. You wanted to see
yeah,
what's
I
going on.
did. I did. I looked through the whole thing. I paused a couple times and I stopped and
I
then I
didn't do that.
died.
That's cool. I like that part.
I this right here, this whole scene when that explosion happens. I mean, if that were to really happen, man, that would scare me.
But yeah, I didn't look behind me. Like I was following Tommy.
Yeah,
I
just
think I
keep
was too
going.
scared to look behind. I like that building that's on fire. Oh, look, that
Yeah,
zombie that's on fire.
yeah.
Or they're not zombie, they're clickers. Or what are they called in this
Well,
picture?
they're called runners. but they're just infected. They don't say zombies
Mm.
or anything like that. They
They're
just say
they're
infected.
technically zombies.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a different take on it. That's what's cool about it.
Yeah.